My name is Crystal Vickmark, and I'm the Executive Director of CASA of Northwest Arkansas. Thank you so much for joining us today. For nearly 2 years, nothing has gone as expected. There's been a twist, a turn, or an obstacle around every corner. None of us could say that this time has been easy. Those feelings of uncertainty and constant change aren't very different from what a child in foster care goes through every day, pandemic or not. Not knowing where they might sleep tonight, or if they'll be changing schools tomorrow, or if they'll see their parents again. For them, their journeys have always had twists, turns, and obstacles. That is why we chose to name this year's event the Journey of Hope, presented by General Mills. During our short time together today, we will reflect and honor the journeys our children go through and the critical role that CASA, court-appointed special advocates, plays along the way. If you're new to CASA, in the simplest of terms, we provide compassionate volunteers who advocate for children who've been abused and neglected and placed in the foster care system. Our court-appointed volunteers walk alongside these children during their time in foster care and ensure that their needs, whatever they might be, are being met. Before we hear more about those needs, we'd like to take just a moment to thank the companies and foundations that have continued to stand by our organization and advocates during this challenging time. These generous companies have underwritten the entire cost of Journey of Hope campaign, ensuring that 100% of your contribution today will go towards helping children in our community who have experienced abuse and neglect. We'd like to thank our presenting sponsor, General Mills, our premier sponsors, Tyson Foods and the Willard and Pat Walker Charitable Foundation, our benefactor sponsors, the Clorox Company and Coca-Cola, and our advocate sponsors, Cargill, Clear Choice Retail, Field Agent, Harps, Unilever, and United Federal Credit Union. There are additional patron and media sponsors who have also played a critical role in today's program. A complete listing of our sponsors may be found on our event website. We appreciate each and every one of them for their support. You will hear from a staff member and a few of our volunteers who commit themselves to being way.
Yeah, so typically the home is severely neglected a lot of the times, and so you see piles of clothing all over, trash all over the countertops, on the floor. There's not really a clear space because there's so much trash. Human feces sometimes, animal feces, sometimes drugs, drug paraphernalia, all within the reach, of children. And so it's a very unsafe situation. And once you've identified that a removal is going to happen, there's usually a lot of emotions are really high. The parents are upset. So it's a very chaotic scene. And so you're just having to de-escalate everyone as the best you can. Try to calm the parent down to help you calm the child down, and just try to help explain this is a removal, but the department's going to help you get your child back. We just need you to work on some things and be able to show that you can be a safe parent. And so the more you help me in this situation of getting your child things together and helping me get them out of here, the better that this will be. And so you just explain, grab your favorite bear or toy, blanket, just kind of whatever makes you feel safe. You help gather clothing if you can in the environment, and you just kind of get the kids and try to leave the best way you can. It's no perfect way to tell a child you're getting taken away from your parents, but you just explain that mom has some things they need to work on, or dad, and right now it's not safe here, and we're going to take you to a safe place.
In some situations, I think foster care is maybe even a relief for them. But I think the journey is just a difficult one. They can move from home to home, move from school to school, The contact with the parents can be sporadic, so I think it's just not, it's not an easy path.
They don't always know the things that need to happen for them, and there's so many services that are out there when somebody goes into the system. Often they need counseling, they need help, they need somebody to talk to, they need to work through what's going on. A lot of these kids, unfortunately, are coming out of sometimes violent situations or situations where there may be drugs involved. And they've seen a lot of things that a child at whatever age they are probably should not have been seen at that point. And they need to be able to work through those things in a very focused and concentrated effort. And somebody needs to help them with that. If left to some of the services where somebody else is supposed to take care of it for them, it may not get done or in a timely fashion. And that's where this role is so important, to come in and make sure and keep bugging and keep asking the questions and keep pushing the caseworker or the judge or whoever it may be to help this child or these children out.
Love, to know that they matter to somebody.
Yeah. To know that their feelings are being taken into account. I feel that without CASA just shoved around from one place, they want to remain in their own school or they want to keep the same circle of friends, they're just told to go someplace else. And I think in the end, love is the main thing that they need. Love and somebody to listen to them.
I think stability, even within our own current cases, we've seen kids moved from placements where we thought they were in great care, and they're just reasons beyond our control, but they see so many different doctors and nurses and caseworkers and foster parents that come in and out of their life, and I think having consistency and stability with seeing us on a consistent basis just provides somebody that they can go, oh yeah, I know you, and you're here for me, and you're listening to me. I think that's one of the most important things.
Yeah, I think compassion along with stability is super important because they are seeing all these people and they are interacting with their caseworker or with us, and just showing them compassion and that we care. I think that makes a huge difference whenever we go into it and they know that you're here to play with me or you're here to talk to me about what is going on, and knowing that they care and that we listen, it's huge.
The first case I had, 4 children were in foster care, provisional placement with the grandmother. And there was a dynamic between the birth mother, the grandmother, and the great-grandmother that the birth mother lived with. And they didn't want any kind of outside help or interference. The kids were a different story. The kids needed extra support, extra love and attention that didn't come from this stressful family dynamic. And it was a dynamic that was really difficult to penetrate. And that's why I started the visits at the school, having lunch with the kids at school, away from the family. And that's where we really bonded and really developed a relationship with the kids that is, they would talk to me and tell me things that they would have never told me when the grandparents. It was difficult because it wasn't in a traditional foster home. They were with family members, and I think that made it harder for them to tell me things because they felt guilty talking about their family that they loved and having problems. Subsequently, in the midst of the case, the grandmother died. The birth mother and the great-grandmother had a falling out. It was just constant trauma and disruption for these children. And then there would be me popping up. And it was a consistent relationship that I treasured.
one of my children were in residential treatment for about 18 months. And during that time, I would visit her and take her food. So I began taking her because my family loves this banana bread recipe that has chocolate chips in it. That's the difference to other banana breads. And so the first time I took her that, she practically devoured the whole loaf all in one fell swoop. She said, I'm hungry, I love this banana bread. And so over time it became like, if she wanted a comfort food, then she would get her banana bread. So then once she got out of treatment and she went to a good foster home in which she had a lot of comfort foods, but still she would contact me from time to time and say, please bring me some banana bread. Then once she had gotten her own apartment this summer, she had casserole dishes and she had baking items that she could actually make her own food. And she had learned to cook early on, I believe, because she was the oldest of that group, that little family grouping. And she decided that one day that she was going to make banana bread, but she didn't have the recipe. So she texts me, send me the banana bread recipe. I'm going to make banana bread for my roommates and for you. So that was pretty surprising that it had come full circle.
It's actually one of my current cases, the teenage girl that I get to be her CASA. Her and I's path is actually very similar as far as the experience and what we've gone through. And it's been a good thing and a sad thing, right? Because it's sad that that's the thing that we get to relate on. But for her to, you know, there's probably about 17, 18 years difference as far as between our age. But I was about her age when the same situation happened to me. And we've talked about that. This doesn't define you. Like it hurts and it sucks to have gone through it. But this is not a defining moment. This doesn't determine who you're gonna be. This doesn't determine where you're gonna go in life, and that you absolutely can face it. But in the same time of helping her, that's also, I've had to deal with it myself, where a lot of times where I didn't kind of think about it, right? I've moved past it, I've moved on, but it's brought up my own trauma that I've had to, you know, try to process with her. But I'm grateful for it in a weird way, because what somebody else meant for harm, God's turned around and used for good, because I've got to share that experience and I've got to help somebody else through it. And I know where you've walked, and I know how you're trying to process and the things that you're doing to try to fill that hole. And I know that you come out on the other side. I know that you make it past this. I know the amazing things that come from it and the amazing people that you're gonna meet, and that what happened to you doesn't stop your life. It doesn't keep you from moving on. It doesn't keep you from going, and you're gonna push through it, and you're gonna fight, and you're gonna survive, and it's gonna be awesome because you're gonna do great things.
The kids need us, and they need us not even just for, you know, like I mentioned, bringing them a toy, that's great, and kind of connecting with them. I think that's sort of what you think being a CASA is about, but I think I've learned through this journey that it's way more than that. There's a lot more going on that we need to delve into. I mean, with this last situation, I'm like, why did I not see he wasn't gaining weight? Why, you know, maybe I should have asked for medical records, or, and so you see that to truly do the job that you need to do, it's not just that kind of emotional bond. You really need to step in and recognize their heart, their health, their, you know, their school, every single thing you need to kind of immerse yourself in.
Just to have a chance at a fulfilling life, or to have a fulfilling life, to be happy, I guess, in the long run. It might take more work than somebody coming from different background, but being able to rise up above where they came from and just have the same opportunities as everybody else.
I think that the kids don't give up hope that somebody loves them. Yeah. That they might have a parent that
isn't capable of showing love in a way that they need, but that doesn't mean that they're not loved, that there's not someone out there that cares for them in that same regard.
Anybody can make a difference. Give your money, give your time, effort, whatever you have to give, because a kid is a terrible thing to waste.
Foster care is a journey, one that no child should have to walk alone. With your support, they won't have to. Last year, our community came together to lift the lives of 949 children in foster care across Benton, Carroll, Madison, and Washington counties. We currently support over 400 volunteers who are making sure children in foster care are safe, find hope, and feel loved. While we've stayed committed to our children throughout the pandemic, we continue to be faced with many challenges that impact how we recruit, train, serve, and fundraise. In order to continue meeting the needs of every child in care, we need your help. It costs our organization $1,300 a year to provide a child with a highly trained and supported CASA volunteer. I ask you to consider, how might you support a child today? You may make your gift of any size in a variety of ways. By pushing the donate button on Facebook, by clicking the donate button on our website, by mailing a donation to us. If you wish to make a longer commitment or to split your donation up over the course of a year, please click the donate button on our website and you can schedule a recurring donation. Nearly 1,000 children in our community depend upon us being there during their time of need. To continue serving every child in foster care in Northwest Arkansas, we need to raise $400,000 through this year's Journey of Hope campaign. Two very remarkable CASA friends, Kara and Brett Biggs, have committed to an incredible gift to help us reach this goal. If together, our community raises $250,000 for our life-changing advocacy, the Biggs family will donate an additional $50,000 to CASA. Please help us maximize our impact through your gift today. Every donation, no matter what size, will help these children find their way to healing. Beyond your financial support, we also hope that you would consider serving as a CASA volunteer or share this opportunity with someone you know. We are continually expanding and diversifying our advocate base and hope that those of you who are inspired by our work come forward to serve alongside us. We are so honored you would join us for this year's Journey of Hope presented by General Mills. As the world around us continues to change, we know one thing won't: our community's commitment to children in foster care. Thank you to our sponsors, our event captains and committee, our CASA volunteers, and to you for making sure that every child's journey is full of light and hope.